Hey everyone, welcome to Graph Time with Sara and Sean. I'm Sara.
And I'm Sean. Today, we have one of the judges of the Desmos Art Contest with us, Courtney.
Hi, everybody.
Courtney, we are so excited to have you today to take us through some of the winning graphs from the art contest. So let's dive into it.
So I've got one up on the screen. This one is in the 15-16 category. It's called Iridescence by Brendan. And the first thing that jumped out to me about this one, I don't know if either of you have ever been to Disney World, but in Disney World, they have this Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride from Snow White. And when you're waiting in line, because you have to wait in these really long lines in Disney World, they have these barrels that you spin, and then it projects these gemstone patterns on the ceiling. And if everybody in line happens to spin their barrels at the same time at a certain rate, then it makes this fun gemstone animation with this gemstone sound. And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this graph. And it turns out that this graph uses tone in some creative ways. So we're actually going to try to that was like the exact sound that I remember from World Wide with the gemstones.
Do you think it was? Do you think that this graph was inspired by?
We have to ask Brendan. But it definitely, that's what struck me. And so like, if I've described gemstone sound before, I'm like, what does that sound actually sound like? I feel like this is spot on what Brendan has captured here. But from there, kind of digging into this one, what I love about it and what really stood out to us as judges is that this is in the geometry tool. And a lot of times people use the geometry tool, but what you find in the expression list is what they might have done in the 2D calculator also, just in a different medium. But this one really, like I saw those gemstones and I thought, ooh, maybe there's transformations in this one. So if we actually go to start searching and I start typing reflect, I'm like, oh, they actually did use transformations. And part of these stones here are reflections in the water. So you can see like the top and bottom reflections there. I'm like, oh, maybe there's other transformations. So I tried dilate, and it turns out that the bottom of these stones here, but this is a dilation half the size of the top. If I hide this here, so that, you have these like perfectly proportional prisms, which I thought was really super cool. I mean, there's so much to love about this graph. Part of what we really loved about this graph is the way that it leverages the actual geometry functions and uses transformations in a way that makes it feel very organic, even though it's kind of this futuristic fantasy like atmosphere.
Yeah, I noticed that as well when I was looking through the expression list. Like you can use the geometry calculator and just type every regular calculator expression in there. But this one, if you open up some of these folders and just kind of scroll through, I bet we could check out like all sorts of things they use.
Let's look at the foreground here because that's where a lot of the gems live.
Yeah. Yeah, segments, reflections, and also just like a large variety of math. I think that's one thing that can be helpful to us when we're looking through. It's like, did they, did this person just use one thing for everything? Did they just make a bunch of segments for everything? Or did they actually use like lots of math tools? This one is a great example of using a lot of different tools, using the geometry calculator to a lot of its potential in order to make a really just like vibrant and beautiful graph.
The comments too, there's a lot of description throughout about the choices made. Apparently the graphs here was one of the most difficult things. This is one of my favorite parts though, how Brendan creatively used this inequality to create the graph and cover up the part of the reflection that wouldn't make sense given the scene. So yeah.
One thing that I love about this is also in the artist statement, or like just at the very top of the graph, is the color theory. Like these are such beautiful colors.
Right.
They did such a good job. It's like beautiful to look at. And I don't know what I thought it was going to sound like when you started making when you turned on the tone, but I was like immediately relaxed. I was like, wow, I could I had this beautiful scene. It sounds so like the colors are beautiful, the sounds are beautiful. I was like, maybe I should just have this on in the background. Do my work.
About the music theory too that they had to learn, and all of those choices are intentional to make it sound, you know, that soothing way that you just described. So
yeah, I definitely spent some time just like trying to make different sounds and music using the stones on the left, where I thought were very like pleasing. Yeah, very cool.
Definitely.
Also, just love the fireflies. Like, it's just like such a nice vibe. Like, the whole vibe is.
Can I go live there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Courtney, for giving us a tour of this iridescence graph.
Of course. Okay, so here we've got another 15-16 winner from this year, and this is Endless Discovery by Ananya. And the first thing that jumped out to me was how beautifully the words in this graph were graphed, actually. So they weren't using our label text, and each part of these letters here are individually graphed, is what I found out. But then, you know, I knew what to do instantly when I opened this graph. I'm like, oh, let me press the launch button, see what happens. And it starts launching. Should we release the SR8s? Yeah,
release them.
The SR8s. And if you keep waiting, eventually you're going to see some constellations. There's tone used in this one. And then there's this really fun surprise that I only learned about after reading more of the expression list. But eventually you'll see the Hubble telescope. If you click on it, you'll get some more information. Oh, okay, there it is.
There it is.
Yes, I got it just in time, so I can learn more information about it. And I just thought there's so much, you know, delight and attention to detail baked into this whole graph. The other thing that really stuck out to me was when I saw this moving, I was like, oh, is this person using our new dynamic graph bounds feature? Like, is the graph itself, is the viewport actually moving? And I was like, oh, maybe it is, because they're using a variable. So in line 4, they have the background here. And I turned that off. And when I pressed launch, I realized nothing's actually moving in the viewport. So I was like, how is that possible then? So I'm going to reset it. And then if I find one of the constellations, actually, and now I'm going to launch, and we're just going to wait a second and make delightful conversation. You may notice what's happening in the list of points that define the constellation is that they're actively changing, and the Y value is going down. And when it goes down low enough, oh, there's a constellation, and there it is. If I pause it here.
Oh, yeah. So it's just like the whole thing. Yeah.
To create the effect of the sky moving, but instead it's really that everything's like dropping into the scene.
I love the little flames when it's going up on the rocket.
Right?
Like, it's just so cute. They did a really good job, and I like the way that they're moving, and it's just like these little details just like bring it to life in such a fun way.
Totally.
Yeah, I also love all of the like all of the text they put on the left. They really like talk a lot about their graph, a lot about space. Like, this person really really is into it, and it makes me into it. Like, I you know.
Did you see this? I didn't know this, but apparently NASA has a tradition where they start each day or mission with a wake-up song. And it sounds like Ananya wasn't able to use this specific song for Discovery because of copyright. But so, you know, they made up their own. But there is a link to a YouTube video where you can go hear it, which is really cool.
I need a wake-up song. I need something to hype me up in the morning.
Well, you have your hype song for your graph times.
Just play the graph time theme song first thing in the morning.
Exactly. No, it's really special.
Yeah, and I think this is another great example of one where if you start looking through the expression list, like, this person really used a large variety of math. I think if you just open something, I remember seeing like quadratics, linear things, polygons, points.
Flames using some polygons.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. The external fuel tank.
Yeah, I'm curious
there you go.
about their transition from like the blue sky to the black like night sky. I wonder where they do that. Maybe it's in the background folder. Oh
see.
yeah. So they actually have a 250 element list where I think they're transitioning between like they've made this gradient. Oh, you just scrolled past it. I think it's in line 11.
Okay. Yeah, here. Wow.
Yeah. So I think they made this gradient of colors to use.
Yeah, it does look like that.
And I love that. That's like
Oh, I
that's so
see.
beautiful.
They called it fade.
And then they probably just scrolled it down like they scrolled everything else down. Very
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, such creative techniques to accomplish so much detail in something that instantly captures your attention. You know, I love the balance of the simplicity of the UI and the design with all of the attention to detail built in there. So
Yeah, this is great. Well, thank you so much, Courtney, for sharing these awesome graphs.
thanks, Sean. Thanks, Sarah, for having me today. This has been fun.
This was so much fun. Thanks everyone for watching and admiring some of the beautiful art that people can make in the Desmos graphing calculator.
And share some of your favorite graphs from the Desmos art contest in the comments.
We will see you next time.
Graph time, laugh time, math time, graph time. Let's get creative and play with some graphs. Come round the table and we'll do the math. Graph time with Sara and Sean.